Here we go.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Soup Bowl. We are in season 2. Yes, welcome back. I am your host, Renee Murdoch. Hey, we're talking about leading our lives, right? Things get messy when we do it. We've been out for some time. We've been on a little break because it's important that you have rest, right? And so we're going to get into that thing, right? Like when we're talking about having rest. So, hey, I'm so happy to be doing life with you and you doing life with me. I'm so glad about it. I thank you for tuning in. I thank you for liking. I thank you for sharing. And I thank you for your comments and hearts all around. So, hey, if there's anything that you want to get into, you have more questions of, you can always email me at info@4mosaic.com. And then you also can put something in the comments, right? And hit me up that way as well of what you want to talk about. So we know that in season 1, yes, round of applause, we made it through by something that I believe that the Lord had placed in my heart to do. And we're still rolling with it because I was like, are we supposed to be doing something else? Do we keep going with this? And the answer that I received was not a no, right? And so here we are again in season 2. So in season 1, right, we explored, right, personal growth, right? We also explored life challenges. We explored leadership, right, and what that means because we are all leaders, right? No matter what area of your job that you're working in, what your home life looks like, we are all leaders, okay? And we can do intentional things to make us more effective leaders, right? So we talked about that, right? And so we also talked about being flexible, having realistic goals, right? Emphasizing on making sure that those goals are attainable, that they're measurable, right? And then when we think about like how we're growing within ourselves and in that personal growth, right, to eliminate self-comparison with others because your life is your life and their life is their life and you can't do it like them because it is not you. That's not your blueprint. That's not your fingerprint. That is not your DNA, right? And so we talked about that. We also talked about our personal views, right, when it comes to work, the truth about work, right? And we can dive into a little bit more of that in season 2 because I think that's a really great topic and for us to just kind of think about and process and how we're going about our daily lives when it comes to work, because some people believe that once they retire that, from that job or from, clocking in or whatever, that they're never going to work again. And I challenge you that is not so, that we will work until the day that we leave this earth, right? Wherever that you believe that you're going, right? That you're going to be working until the day that you leave. If you're sitting on a beach, right? And you're like, I'm just going to spend every day sitting on the beach, whatever the case may be, I guarantee you that you're going to be doing some work sitting on that beach. All right. And so we also talked about being good communicators, being effective communicator. We talked about the challenges of health, right, and our diet and what that means, right, especially with me, right? I shared a little bit with y'all about my little flexitarian, right, vegetarian, vegan journey, right? We can talk about that even some more because as you're getting older, right, things change. Your body starts to change. I remember, right, with one of my coaches had said to me, right, when I was in high school, and it just always stuck with me. And so I don't forget about those type of things. And so I think it makes me more conscious of how I am taking care of my body and what I'm doing. And sometimes, hey, realistically, right, we kind of stray, we kind of fall aside. But if we're doing things right, for the most part, those falling by the wayside a little bit are not going to affect us as much, right, as those that just continue down a path of unhealthy dieting or eating lifestyle, being mindful of the food choices that we're making, that we're putting into this are only one body, our only temple, that we don't get another one. You don't get a redo, okay? It's not like the computer where you can delete and you can start again. You only get one, right? So that's it. That's all you get. You only get this one set of teeth. You don't get another set unless they're false, okay? And so you don't get again, right? It's not like, oh, that's really good. So it's not like our nails, right? Like we can cut our nails down or whatever and they'll go back, right? And we can, do certain things to make them more healthy or whatever the case may be. But again, you only get one. All right. And so we also talked about dreams, right? And being open to dreams, right? And to dream again and to be hopeful again. And, those things that we thought about when we were younger and how throughout time people said certain things, whether it was another peer, whether it was another loved one, whether it was an adult, and how those dreams fade away, but how we can captivate them again and start hoping again and start believing again, right? So those things that come to fruition. So we talked about that, and we can talk about a little bit more about that too. And as we're growing in life, right, we talked about that pain that we are going to experience. If we're going to grow in life, if we're going to live life and live life right, you're going to experience some pain. You're going to experience some moments of true humbleness. And if not, you will die, okay? And it's not like, I'm not talking about the physical death, which ultimately it could be that, but ultimately I'm talking about dying, right? Dying to your true self and never really becoming, right, who you truly are, right, in the earth. And so that could be really disheartening because you never really just lived, right? You just existed. And we want to live. We want to live fully. We not only want to exist in this world, but we want to live fully in this world, doing everything that we have desired and purposed and been sent here to do, just to fulfill in that, right? And so I just want to, encourage you to continue to keep dreaming and dreaming big, right? If you're not dreaming big and you're in the small and it's something that you can handle, then it's really not a dream. It's really not a dream. Better yet, it's really not a vision. Right? Like you could do it yourself, right? So, I don't know. So, anyway, so we talked about that. Oh, yes. And guess what happened in season 1? Guess what happened in season 1? Yes, I released a book. Yes, come on. I released a book. If you still have not gotten it, please go out and get it. It's available on Amazon. Right, and also in Barnes and Nobles. You can order it offline. It comes in an ebook and it also comes in a paperback, and you can go to Amazon and get that, right? You can Google my name, Renee Murdoch. You can also go to my website, formosaic.com, mosaic, MOSAIC, for the number 4, right, MOSIC.com. And you can go there as well. It'll send you directly to a link to purchase the book. All right, and the name of the book is The Leadership Evolution, Navigating Challenges and Inspiring Growth. Okay, and so we released that book. It is a guide, right? It is a journey, right? A purposeful journey of what we can do intentionally to be effective leaders. Not good leaders, not great leaders, right? Because that's all, wish-washy, whatever, based upon, right, a person's own belief of what great is or what good is, right? But we can be effective, right? And so being effective, right, is making change and growth, right, in organizations as well as within yourself personally and for those whom you are serving, right? And so there are some practical steps that you can take to actually get you there. And it is a daily process. You don't do something for one time and then you just, I got it, and then that's it. And I think that's a problem when we talk about developing, right? Training and development. We tend to do this. We tend to spend millions of dollars, billions of dollars in this industry when it comes to training and development. And there is no accountability behind it because we do it and then it's it. We check the blocks and it's over with. But what I am saying is that to be an effective leader, the whole person, right, takes complete development daily, intentionally, until the day that you leave this earth. You yet still should be growing as a leader. It should not be, I'm not, over this anymore. I'm not taking any more classes. I'm not in that area. I'm not doing anything. No, it is a daily process. How do I look and view things from where I sit at, from where my map is sitting, from my environments, from my experiences? How am I responding to that? Am I creating an environment for individuals to share, to be open and to be honest? Or are people more fearful to provide feedback and things of that nature? Am I, living this life that I'm asking other people to follow behind? Am I doing these things, right? How do I, talk to, those that are in my home first, right? And then how do I talk to those whom I am communicating with each and every day, right? Am I quick to judge, right? Am I quick to forgive? Am I quick to respond? Do I need time to, what is all of that, right? It is taking the time to evaluate where I'm at and where I need to go. So again, I encourage you to get it. Hey, when you get the book, look, write some notes down, highlight. I think that is very good, so you can go back and look. That's kind of what I do. That's my thing. That's how I retain things. And then I go talk to people about it, right? And it's not like to say, hey, look what I know. It's just kind of like, hey, I've been reading this, and these are some things that I'm thinking about that came out of it or whatever, and it's just bringing about conversation, right? So do that, within your teams, start a study session or something about this. But I really think that it's just great content for, all people to go and look at, especially those that have not yet, quote unquote, got your feet real wet. Right, you're just kind of like on the shorelines of things, of starting out into, the workforce, and this could really put you ahead, right, of your counterparts. All right, so so just again, go to my website or just go to Amazon.com and look up Leadership Evolution, Navigating Challenges and Inspiring Growth, and get your copy today. Hopefully, within a few months, there will be a book signing. And you got to be in VA for that. But hey, if you're close by or whatnot, hit me up. We can see what we can do about that. So we're going into season 2, and so we're going to continue on this journey, right, of personal growth, because I believe that that's really the basis and the foundation of leading effectively. And we're going to get into more things like relationship, the challenges of relationships, whether it be professional or personal, because those things can be challenging, right? And how can we navigate those challenges as we're growing? Right? We're going to get into marriage. I didn't get into marriage much in season 1, but we're going to get into marriage. And the reason why we're going to get into marriage, because I think that it is important. It is the foundation of families, and I want to celebrate marriage. I don't want to discount marriage. I don't want to celebrate, separation and divorce, but I want to celebrate marriage because I think it's really important. I just celebrated 22 years. Come on now, 22. And it was not easy getting to 22. And so we're going to talk about that and what it takes to get to 22 and even some more. So, those of you that are desiring to be married, have been married, divorced, and desiring it again, or maybe it's like, I'm not getting married any longer. Hey, let's talk about this thing, right? Let's talk about some things about what it takes to stay married. Right, and I'm not going to say and be happy. So let's put a pause right there on that one. And hopefully, Mr. Murdoch might make a cameo in one of these videos talking about marriage. Because he's always on the sideline, saying stuff. So we'll see if he'll come in and share a little bit on his view, his perspective, right, when it comes to marriage. And we're going to talk about raising children. Again, that's part of the family dynamics, right? And raising them into being productive citizens, right? Productive people in our society, right? Also the importance of education. I believe in lifelong learning. And education is very important. That is something no one can take away from you is your education. And that is why reading is important and it is fundamental in everything that you do. And then we're going to talk about living life to its fullest and not just existing. We spend way too much time in this world just existing and not living. And I know you're like, Renee, I am living. I wake up every day and I'm just, I'm in life. Yeah. So if you're saying I wake up every day and I'm just here, like I'm breathing, then you're not living, right? You're not living. We always say, well, not we, but right, I heard it said numerous of times, right? What is that thing that you would do? It might be some things. There might only be one thing, right? But what is that thing that you would do, right, for free? That no matter where you are, right, what time of day it is, what the weather is, no matter your age, what is that one thing that you would do that you just love doing, right? And is there a possibility, right, for that to become a stream of income for you? Maybe not the stream of income, but a part of maybe one of those streams of incomes, right? And so, that is living life, right? Not existing. We exist in the world based upon what culture says that we're supposed to do, right? We go to school, we get an education, we graduate from high school, we in turn go to college, or maybe we go off into the service, maybe we go into public service, maybe we're become entrepreneurs, and based upon our environments, right, and our exposure to certain things is kind of where leads us where we normally go, right? Not too many of us, right, really take that leap off the cliff, right, into the space of the unknown and diving into the deep, where we just have no clue what's around us and what's coming, around the bend, or what's underneath us or above us. We don't take those many leaps, for the most part, right? We kind of go with what, again, based on our experiences and what's been around us and the choices that's been given to us, that we believe that is literally what our options are, when in reality our options is really unlimited. But that's not where we normally go, right? And so based upon that, we find ourselves, right, re-looking at our careers later on in life, making adjustments, continuously making adjustments. And although we should be making adjustments in our life because as we continue to grow, we're going to be making adjustments, right? Because, we're learning more, we're doing better. For example, this might seem small, but to me, I was just thinking about it this morning. I was ironing my shirt, and as I was ironing, I was like, oh man, I really hate this iron. Because I literally took the iron from downstairs from my craft area because the one upstairs had went kaput, right? It was just no good anymore. And, we couldn't figure it out. One can work it. So I was just like, oh, I really like this iron, right? And so I had to get the one from downstairs, and I really don't like the one from downstairs, but here it is. And so again, today I'm just like, I really don't like this iron, but I have to use it. And then I thought about it. I had went to go visit my cousin, right? And I asked for the iron, and she's like, yeah, I don't have iron. I haven't used iron for years. And I was just like, well, what have you been using? And she's like, oh, I have a steamer. And I was like, okay. Now, of course, I've always wanted one, right? I've never gotten one because I sew, but I always wanted a steamer. I just never got one. And I was like, oh, okay, let me see whatever. I heard good things about it. So I remember using it, right, at her place, and I was like, oh, this is pretty efficient, right? And so that is a small thing, but again, it's making an adjustment, right? So to me, I'm thinking like, do I want to just keep saying I don't like this iron, or Or maybe I should just go get something more efficient, right? Because I thought it really was efficient to have that steamer instead of iron. And of course, having an iron as a backup, So anyway, that's just an example of making an adjustment and learning as you go, right? So who knew that using a steamer was going to be better than an iron? I don't know, right? So, I don't put creases in my pants, so I really don't need one. Like, I don't need a press, right? And so that's just a small example of what that looks like when you're making just a minor adjustment off of one thing in an experience that you had. So as you're going through life, this is exactly what you're going to be doing. So here we go. So hopefully the sound is better too, because the HVAC, with the heat going on or whatever, it was pretty loud, right? So it seems sunny outside. You can see the sun is shining in, yay! But it has actually been really cold here. And so, but today seems to be a warm day. Maybe we brought the warm weather back with us from our vacation. I don't know. So it's a good thing, but that thing is pretty loud, right, in this area. And like if I'm trying to watch TV or something, then it's just like you're turning up the TV like extra loud, and then when it goes off, it's just like, why is the TV so loud, right? Because you forgot that you turned the TV up based upon that being on. So yeah, really annoying. Anyway, back on topic, okay, because I was just having a little tangent there. So yeah, we're just gonna be talking about these things, again, in life challenges, right, in season 2. So I just want y'all to stick with me through this, even sharing, different things. And so we know that we are at the beginning of the year, and I think I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, that we are not staying true to these new year resolutions or our goals that we make, because why? Their goals are not smart, right? They're, you're not making smart goals, right? You're just throwing stuff out there and, throwing it to the wall and hoping that it sticks. And you just can't do that, right? You just got to really drill down into the things that you want to do. Maybe you need to break them up in categories or whatnot. So I don't know how you want to do it, right? Maybe it's, family, career, finances, right? Or maybe, again, you can break them into categories or whatnot, or you can just, have a list. And look, this is me. This is me, and this is what I believe, right? You don't need to make 100 goals. More than likely, you're not going to make all of those goals. Okay? And when you don't make the 100 goals, you're literally beating yourself up about it, right? So don't make 100 goals, right? If it's just one thing that you like, I gotta do this year, I must complete this, then let it be that one goal, right? And then once you complete that, if there's something else, then it's like, oh, okay, now I can add to this or whatnot. So I just really want to really stress to you, do not go overboard in these goals. Like, we are right a month into 2025, and I know a lot of you probably got that gym membership, and right now you're just like, I don't even know if I want to go back and visit gym or have a lunch date with gym. You're just unsure right now. And so it's like, what did you do, right? You must have went to a boot camp or something like that. Please don't do that, right? If you're not already doing something, do not go to a boot camp. Now, I will go to a boot camp because I'm already active, right? And so I might just need a little, pick me up, or just I don't know. I just like to do stuff because I just never did before. I just like to meet new people as well, get into a different environment. So that's probably why I would do a boot camp. But if you're not already moving, you're not already on some type of exercise regimen, you should not have done a boot camp of any nature, you have to work your way up to, right, spending more time with Jim. Okay, Jim's a good person. Jim is a really good person, right? They light and easy. Jim can go either way. However, you need to be consistent with Jim, right? You cannot keep making dates with Jim and keep in breaking your dates with Jim. Okay? So you got to leave those excuses alone. What I am going to do is, so you can keep me accountable this year, I'm going to share with you some of my goals, right? My top 5 goals. And again, I got different goals for different things or whatever, but I'm going to share my top 5 goals with you. And you can let me know, hey, yeah, those are pretty reachable. Those are attainable. You can do those things, right? So number 1, right, for me is to be consistent and diligent in all things. I want to make sure that I'm consistent. Some people would say that, oh, well, you're already consistent, right? But I feel like I could be a little bit more consistent and diligent, right, in all things that I'm doing, right? Well, I got to think about that every day. Like, how can I be consistent in what I'm doing, which kind of runs down into something else that I have on here, right? And then I want to make sure that I keep my life balanced in my commitments, because I was a person that was like, oh, there's a gap, let me fill it. Oh, let me help out. Okay, let me say yes. They need something, whatever. Like right now, there is a email right in my inbox that I'm like, okay, I need to respond to this email. But the more, because I really wanted to do it, I really did. And the more I thought about it, I said, can you really commit to that? Can you really commit to it? No, you cannot. No, you cannot commit to it. Why? Because you have another commitment that might take precedent over this. And so if that thing, conflicts with this other part, then I'm going to have to say no. And I don't like doing that. So I'm just going to go ahead and say no from the beginning, that I cannot commit to this, right? And then number 3, I always want to stay in a position of learning. I never want to get to a place where I'm like, I'm not going to sit and listen to that. I'm not going to read that. I'm not going to watch. I already know that. I've already took a class on that. I've already did a training on that. No, I want to be in a position of learning at all times, meaning that I need to listen, right, to what people are saying, and take in, what's being said. Ask questions, if necessary. Hear what's being said. Go read up a little bit more on that particular topic or that's being discussed. So I want to make sure that I do that. And number 4, I want to chase God and not things. I want to keep God at the foremost, because that is my belief system. That is my faith system that keeps me grounded, right? That keeps me girded, right? And so I can't be out here trying to chase fame, trying to chase, clients, and trying to chase, promotions, and trying to chase all these things in life. No, if I go after Him and if I keep my eyes stayed upon Him, then some of those desires, if they are, will come to pass. How can I actually do this? Well, I can make that foremost my thing of my devotion towards God daily, right? Not an afterthought, not, oh, I'm in a bind, I'm wishing and praying on the star, get me out of that. No, not that type of thing, but being very intentional about having this relationship, right? In the morning when I arise, being grateful, being thankful, praying and seeking, right? Worshiping and singing praises, right, to God. Again, that is my belief system. That is my foundation. That's what keeps me grounded, right? That keeps me from, launching out, saying things out the way, or maybe popping off at somebody. That's just me, right? And so number 5 is live life. And we talked about that a little bit, right? And to don't worry about those things that I cannot control. Look, we cannot control everything, but we try to, and then we just get all frustrated and things of that nature. We try to, do things and then we make it worse. But I got to make sure that I am not trying to control things and be worried about things that I have no control over. Renee, we just gonna live, and we're gonna live life to the fullest. And living life to the fullest is about resting. And we're definitely going to talk about that, because that is one thing that, I need help in too. I need help in knowing how to rest, right? And if I'm going to live life and live it to the fullest, that is one thing that I need to get a hold of, right? And be intentional about doing. So yeah, those are my 5 top goals and things that I want to make sure that I am staying true to this year and working out this year. I went back on 2024 to see where I was at and those goals that I made, and hey, boom, we're here. And so that's just kind of like, where I'm at. And so I got to be accountable to you, right? So I'm just going to be talking about that as we're going on in year 2025. And so, hey, share one of your goals with me, right? And so I can be accountable, so you can be accountable as well. And as I said, when we're in the Super Bowl, we are doing life together. Well, we are at our time. So thank you so much for hanging out with me on today. And until next time, right? Leading is teachable. I love you, and there's nothing that you can do about it.